Okay guys, this is lecture 8. Today we're gonna cover switch statements. Remember we took the FL's previous lectures. Today we're gonna take what's a switch statement. If you remember all the average grade program, let's take a look at it. Nano, or you can let me, have I ever tried Pico with you guys? Pico, and what was the file name? A student average or average grade. Nope. Let's do this. See the file grade average if. Okay. Pico grade average F, and let's see. Okay, if you remember, we calculated the average grade for a student. 5 grades were entered by the users between 0 and 100, and here we set short because I know the grades are gonna be 0 to 100. Please enter 5 grades. We entered 5 grades here. Now we founded the average, and average, remember this, we took, so this is a good example on presidencies where we know, if you remember, if I had it without this and we ran an example on that, just to let you see it, if we take out the parentheses over here, what is gonna happen? The first operation that's gonna happen, it's this one, and I put float to convert this to float, so it saves average as a float, so we don't lose the decimal point. And here we can do something. Let me remember, I can do it. This is casting. So here we're talking about presidencies, casting, switch statement, and what else can we talk about? Let's see. So this is a really good example. If we put it, it's gonna be dividing grade 5 on 5.5, then adding those, and that will make the equation wrong. To fix it, we use what? Parentheses, which have higher priority. Parentheses, and now this should work. The average grade of student. Okay, so how is this related to switch and F statement? First, I'm gonna do it in if else and see how it's related to an if else statement. And what do I mean by if else? We need to modify the example where I need to print the average. The average here is gonna be between 0 to 100. I need to modify it where it prints a letter, either A, B, C, D, or F. And let me take this one. So we're gonna calculate the student average. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna continue on this code, and I'm doing this so we can have extra space, or I'll change in a minute to gedit, and we'll see how that goes. So this, so here, after I get this average, I want to what? Check if it's either an A, a B, or C, or D, and print it with the code. So we can come here and say, okay, I can say if, well, average VG is AVG is greater or equal 90. That means what? See out A, and let's do an end line. Let's do an end line here. Doesn't matter. And line. Now this is one. need one for B, greater than 80, one for C, D, and that one will be an else. I can do it this way, and I can here say if average, if I didn't want to use the else's, if average is greater than 90, and or for the 80 case, greater or equals 80, and AVG is less than 90. I have to make sure I have to have this if I didn't want to use the else's. And here, what will I do for the, this will be the B case, and this will be the C case, and this will be the D case. Here I can here this one I'm gonna say if greater or equals 70 and AVG is less than 80, so I'm putting a range, and both of them has to be true. If we didn't do this, what will happen? If I got an average of 95, it's gonna come check, is average greater than 90? Yes, so it's gonna print an A. And remember, C++ is sequential, so it's gonna go to this one. If I didn't have this, it's gonna say if average is average greater than 80, the 95 will be yes, so it's print B, so it's gonna print A, B, C. And let me run it and show you. Why am I? That would be better. Okay. Let's see here what happened. I don't have an F letter, but let's see this one. Dash O, and I have Gaith, and I have grade average f.cpp, compile it. In main, line 16 we have a problem. Let's go to line 16. Pico. If you print Ctrl C, it will show you the lines here. I'm on line 90, so we need it. Where am I missing? It's this one here. I'm missing the 80. So if I say Gaith, I'm gonna enter 5 grades: 96, 97, 98, 96, 94. See, it printed A, B, C, D. Let's run it again and see. Here's the average. And let's put it 70s and see how it's gonna print. See, and it didn't print the D. Why is that? It should have printed the D. Let's run it again and make it 80. I'll check the D. It might be I added something. BC. Here printed BC. The average was 82. I don't want that. Let's see why it didn't print the D case. Oh no, not run. I want to open it. Okay, because I put it as greater than 90. So if I had it greater than 60, it should have printed C and D. And we don't want that. One way to solve it is put the AND as previously I did. But now we can say use the if else. So if else this, else this, else this, 60, else you failed and you got an F. Else see out, think of changing majors, you get an F. Think of changing major, okay. You got an F. Don't blame me. Okay, this should be good. Now I wanted to print the average with that, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take those 2 lines, or 3 lines, let's just take one. Okay, and I wanted to print the average is okay. But here remember, we're gonna have to use what? Curly braces for the body, or it won't take what? The else. And now here I have this. I need a curly brace, and we do curly brace to end this F, and same thing we do here. And I like to align it so we know which is for which. Okay, and I put the F case, which is less than 60, and I have to close this. And I don't want to print your average if you got an F, so we're gonna leave it as is for the last one. And let's see how this code works. Okay, see add does not name a type. See add the average grade for the student. What does that mean? Let's see, this is the first time I see the error. Control C, 43. 1 minute, Daddy, let me stop my recording. So now I'll go where it didn't like. Okay, I printed this by mistake here. I don't know how it got here, but let's do clear, compiled without any errors, clear. Now I'll do Gaith, let's enter any 78. Oh. The average grade for the student equals 88, and which is a B. Let's modify it so it looks even better. And where am I gonna change it? Here. And I don't want this end line, so it prints it next to that one. So this will say, know what is happening. Okay. And this one I'm gonna take out, and this one. Okay. And add a, for each one of those, same thing. I can say, I don't know what's that. It's a word that should mean something, but okay. And this one, yeah. Yes. And let's compile and run and see. 98, 96, 78, 92. Ooh, I got big numbers. So now let's take out -7, 8, 9, or 0. This will make it as, but it's gonna be missing a grade. So I'll do this. It's gonna be a low grade, but here we go. 75, you got a C. This is your average. Now I want to try and do this as, and let me show you the code in go to CPP, and this is the code in gedit. Here I'm putting 5 grades. We're declaring an average, or here I declared the 5 grades, sorry, and declared average. We're unpairing the 5 grades, we're calculating average, and we're casting it to a float. If I had 5, it won't have the decimal point. And here I'm checking if average is greater than 90, then what? See out A. Else if average is greater than 80. We did this using an if else. So now how can I do this? Using a switch statement. So what's the switch statement? And to know what's the switch statement, let's go Google it. Okay, Google. And I wanna, oh, it's good I opened here, so let's run this code as where did it go? On the online compiler. In case you don't have Unix, Linux, you don't have Visual Studio, you can go to an online compiler and run it. Same code, run, and here it says under here enter 5 grades, 78. I was thinking of putting a failing grade, but let's not do it now. 84.8, and it's B. Remember, if I didn't have here the 0.5, if I left it as 5, it won't show this 0.8. So we did the casting, we did the precedences, priorities by doing the parentheses, and now we're doing an if else. How could I do this in a switch statement? So what's a switch statement in C++? Let's see. Okay, a switch statement in C++ is same. We have a switch expression. This is expression like I'm gonna switch on average for my previous case, I'm gonna say case 100. If average meaning if average equals 100, case 99, case 98. All those are gonna output an 8. Then I'll have another case, a case 89, case 88, and on all of those I'm gonna output a B. So here's expression. I'm checking the average. If it meets case 1, do this. Let's take this example and look at it. Integer main local, I'm gonna have grade and D, a character. It's a character. I'm switching on grade, which is a character, and I know it's a D. So switch on D. I'm gonna go to D, case D. What do I have here? See out, you passed, and implement this one. If you had a CN here and you input A, it's gonna take excellent. If you input B, this is a switch statement. A switch statement. Here I'm gonna have my expression, curly braces, and cases, colon, and then I'll have my code. We have a break here. A break is really important to use here. If you don't have breaks, what happens if I put grade equals A? It's gonna do see out excellent. It's not breaking. It's not gonna exit the switch statement. So it's gonna go to do case B, case C, case D. It won't do the default, and case F it will do it. Every switch statement you can have a default statement. It says which is think of it representing the last else in the code. But now I'm thinking again of, okay, so this is how can I do my code in a switch statement. We're gonna save it under a different file so I can have both of them open and see where they differ. And let's do a copy, grade avg if statement dot cpp. Oh, I have the copy file, but okay, copy grade f.cpp, and I'm gonna convert it. I'm gonna copy this code to grade, which I already have, switch.cpp. Even if I didn't have it, it will create it. So now let's do edit, and I wanna open the grade switch statement.cpp, enter. So what do I want to do? I don't want to use this, and I want to replace it with an switch statement. And I don't want to go and change the whole code. Here's the problem. If I was gonna do this as switching on average, I have to cover, for the A, I have to cover 10 cases from 100 to a 90. I have to say case here. I'm gonna have to say case 100, case 99. That means if average equals 100, if average equals 99, if average equals 98, I'm gonna do this code whatever in this. Now else if I can replace this with the next case, where I can say case 89, and again case 88, case 87, case 86. It will do the average grade. Your grade is B. But do you think is this reasonable to have? Well, you're gonna write 40 cases maybe from 100 to 60. That's gonna be totally exhausting. That's not practical. So what do you think you can do? Think of it. How can I have lesser number of cases? Think. Look. What can you do something with average? Can you change it? Yep, we can change it. And because I'm printing average here, I want to name it a different name. If we were not printing it, I would have gave it the same name. I would have done all my calculation now on average. So let's do this as mapping. Let's say mapped value. Mapped V. Mapped V, I want it to equal AVG. And now I'm going to take this map AV or average, think of it as average, and I want to divide it by what? By 10. Does that make sense? So how many cases do I have now? What did I put? MAPV equals this. Divide MAP. So if I have 99, it's gonna divide it by what? 10. It's gonna give me 9.9, and that's a case. Did it solve the problem? No. So now think, how can I solve it? I needed to have a 9. Instead of 9.9, I needed to have a 9. So what if I change what? This to an integer? What will happen? What do you think will happen? You want to see what will happen? See out. Let's output AVG, and output also space map V, which is an integer. And now for now I just want to run this program, so I just want to comment this code, and I'll come back to it to show you how we decrease the number of results or cases, which makes my code now practical. Let's see, go to this, close this so it doesn't cause any problems. We'll have clear. Now we're gonna do d++ compile dash o and dash o, and you can name it whatever you want. So I want to name it out, or even here I want to name it out. I'm going to use out, but I want to see if no input files compilation. Errors. What errors? MPV was not declared in this scope. Okay, I have it. Oh no, what's my problem? It's saying here we used MPV and I declared it here. So what do I need to do? Integer. This should work now, and let's see what's going on. Error, AVG was not declared in this scope. Integer. Okay, I have it all capital letter and it's supposed to be small letter. This one. And guys, I'm using Pico sometimes, and sometimes I'm using gedit. One is on the white screen, the other is on the black screen. That's no problem. Those are different editors. It's okay. I can use Nano, Pico, via gedit. If you're doing Visual Studio, it's the same. Just stick with Visual Studio. I'm changing between them just to let you know and show you how you can use different editors. And let's say this and out. Let's enter average is 81.8, and now here's the new mapped value, which is 8. So we can say this case is a B instead of writing all those cases. So let's go back to my code. So this I added, remember, all this to do I need to print it? No, but let's leave it for us so we can say it, see and explain the code and what's happening. Now I need to go to the switch. I'm not gonna use average, I'm gonna use my new mapped value MPV, and I'm gonna have case 10 and case 9 are gonna be what? Are gonna be this. And remember, after this I need to break. We need to break out of the code, out of the switch statement, and I need the body for the switch statement also. Be careful of this, and let's make it look better. I like to do, honestly, I like to do this better than. And let's copy this and add it for what? Control copy. I'm gonna have case 8, case 7, and case 6, which is representing, this will represent any value between 9 and 10, 90 and 100, any value from 80 to 89, any value from 70 to 79, and this will represent any value from 60 to 69. So 80, what do I need to do when it's 80? I need to do this, but I'm gonna print a B, and here's 70, same thing. And here I need to print a C, and here I'll do, what's this? Why is it giving me this case? Okay, I want to leave this as a default case, and case 6 colon, I want to do this, and this is gonna be a D. But Control D. What did it do? Control D to it. Shift D, break, and for a switch statement, we have the default case. Default case where we have, I'm gonna think of changing majors. You got an F. You got an F. Think of changing majors. I take out the. So let's go back over the code and see what we're doing. We're declaring 5 grades, declaring float average, entering 5 grades, finding the average of those 5 grades, casting it to 5. Now I'm declaring a value to map it. So I'm converting all the grades from 90 to 100 to one value, which is, or in this case two values, 10 and 9, so we can have a lesser amount of cases, and here I have the average grade for the student is C out A, break the average grade of, in case 80, any, let's say any grade between 80 and 89, and case 7 is any case between 70 to 79. And how did I do that? I did it here by dividing average on 10. We can do this where we can just have this. I did that just to show you it's related to, and I don't need this, and I still want to print it just to show you guys here. This is just extra so we can know what's going on. Let's save. Compile. Okay, expected error, I think for the switch statement we didn't put it. It's gonna be line 50. Let's go to line 50 and see what we have there. Here's line 50. The error is before. Always look on that line 50. Think what you have on 50, check the line before it and the line after it, and you should be good. And now let's save this, and we can go now and compile it. What happened here? Something happened. Is mapped but visible child is not mapped. I don't know what's that, but let's check. Hopefully okay, compile and let's run it. Let's enter grades. 8, enter 78, 99, 95, 99 again. I want it in the 90s. We mapped it from 93.8 average to 9, and remember I added this just to show you how the mapping went. Here's what we need as an output. The average grade for the student equals 93, which is an A. Let's run it for another example, and let's put a range between 50s or 70s. After this we'll try another one in the range of, I got 74.6, which is mapped to 7. The average grade for the student was 74.6, which is a C. Let's try an F case. Just run it again and do 40, 50, 59, 8 and 57, and map to 5. Think of changing major. You got an F. So here's a switch statement. Switch. We're gonna be switching on M map V, which is an integer, and we have how many cases? The case 9, 10, which represents an A, case 8, case 7, case 6, and we always should have the default statement. And in the next example, I'm going to show you how to create a simple calculator using a switch statement, and we're going to switch on a character, not an integer, and that will be in the next video. Thank you all. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below.